What's going on inside of my brain during the trading day leading up to the point in which I put a position on, and then what do I start to do from there? Am I able to control my emotions and logically think through, or do I start to panic and push buttons and get out of positions and double down and do all of these things that as traders we have all done at some point? Well, in this video, I want to play you guys a screen recording from last Friday where I actually recorded my screen and talked through all of the things in which I was thinking in the market as they're unfolding, and then also the things in which I would like to look for in order to place a trade. Now, that trade ended up being in the Nasdaq using the Russell as a divergence. In addition to that, I had the Nasdaq into a level which is even better for me. My strategy of divergence and my strategy of levels came together for this trade. And if you're new here, click that subscribe, give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below if you did. So let's take it over to the charts and see what the action brought us on Friday. And Russell just popped back there, 2062s here. I'm not opposed to longs, I'm not opposed to shorts. I'm gonna use that 50 quarter in the S&Ps and the 924.50s in the Nasdaq. I got a feeling that we'll at least try and push highs first here. See if Nasdaq pulls back, trades those 924.50s here. Again, we opened above the level on both markets, so we have to respect that. I kind of want to put Nasdaq on and just leave it with a little bit of a wider stop for that big move, but I think we might see some sort of divergence. All right, Nasdaq still sitting right on that 924.50s here. We did get the new lows. We do have a signal in place here. As long as we continue to hold that, I'll push up through opening print with pullbacks, and I like long still. I'll push under 924.50s. Then I'm open to the idea of shorts. And just so we can put this on like a 2-minute chart here on the Nasdaq, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. Just the way in which we're holding this 924.50s like extremely well. I will give market credit for that at the moment. Oops, not 15. Yeah, a little Nasdaq breakdown lower there. Russell might actually get those 20, 35, 40s after all. Problem is I gotta leave at 11, so I only got 40 minutes here to try and see if something sets up. I don't want to say I got 40 minutes to put on a trade here, because I got 40 minutes if a trade presents itself. I'm kind of liking Nasdaq off 924.50s here. I want to see if the Russell can finish this move down into 35, 40s. Nasdaq holds, gives us some sort of divergence there. And then I'm good for long opportunities there. If we can grab 924.50s in and around this area for an entry, as long as we can find it in the NAS or in the divergence here with the rest of these markets, if we hold. I'm gonna try a small Nasdaq long here. New lows, Russell Dow. Hello? What's my entry? 921s. Sweet. Let it get back up through opening print here, and then we'll run it up into targets. Pretty solid reaction so far. I really wouldn't want to see this dip much down through like 933s, give or take, 932s now. My entry is 921.75s here. So we're at a good first target here towards opening print if you want. I think given the entry, given the move, the whole thing, I'm going to try and just hold through opening print. I just want to lock it in. If we can push through opening print, we can lock in just a handful of points here. I'm willing to risk and give back some of these open profits, I think, depending on what this starts to look like. And see if we can make a run back for those highs on the day. Opening print's 957s. This high right here is 967s. Go ahead and mark this up. This pullback right here will be the test. I'm not going to let this go red. But again, it shouldn't trade much through 933s if it needs it here. And if you want, you could take the 20, 30 points right here. Again, opening print there, that first kind of target area on it. I want to try and hold through that though. So I'm giving it this little bit of room on the pullback there. We traded 936s. We might get one more little retest to trade those 933s. I'm okay with somewhat break even here or just massive. That's kind of the vibe for this one. It made us wait for like an hour and some change here. We got a really, really solid entry. I think we can revisit highs. Amazon getting that break there now, pushing through highs. Netflix, same thing. Google's kind of subsided a bit there. Meta's still strong. Netflix still strong, all the things. Opening print test there. If you have some and you want to trim some off right there, we just traded 957s. Opening prints are 957.75s. I wouldn't say I blame you here, like at all. We got about 32 points, give or take, right here in this. So it's a decent little move. I'm looking at like there's another 100 points to the upside. And maybe what we do is go ahead and lock some in here. That low is 50s. So we'll lock in like 47.50s there on some. See if that can't hold. What do we say, 47.50s? Let's push there. Get it 66.50s, couldn't break. Back below opening print here. We'll still give it the 47.50s. And then on this last little piece, we'll go ahead and put a stop down around 33s. And just let that work. Nice. We should have really pushed up through those 67s there and held opening print on that move. Again, we did front run those 33s on that last little move. I still have a piece on. I've taken 2/3 off so far. I got to stop on this last little piece down here at 33s. I'm probably going to get ticked on that and then make the move. But as long as we can hold this, I'll be fine with it. So we locked in. I got fills at 2075s, 21s, and 2175s. Looking back through my fill logs now, we're pushing back up to that opening print. This could be a perfect little 37s for a trail to come in there. Yeah, so we got fills at 2075s, 21s, 2175s, and so far I took some exits at 47 quarters was my fill on those, and we're still holding a chunk of this, a third position size, up about 44 points right now. And that little bottoming tail right there, 37 quarters, stops are in place at 33.50s. I think we are good to go. Hero or not quite zero on this one yet. We really should have pushed on that break. That was unfortunate. We took 2/3 of the position off on a trail, but nonetheless, I'm totally okay with that. Even if this last third runs and we get this extra 100 points out of it, we eating some ribeyes, and that's all I care about. Actually, we're gonna eat some tomahawks. We're gonna eat some tomahawks. We catch 130-ish points out of Nasdaq. Yeah. I still got like 4 in the freezer. Oh, I'm trading the full minis. Anybody long Nasdaq with me? Anybody grab that? Or take an Amazon or something with a relative strength type of play on this? Nice, let's go. Nice. You took it off at opening print, or you just trailed it to opening print? Oh, you scalped it to opening print. Never mind. I read that wrong. Oh, you caught Amazon as relative strength? Nice, Abe. Dude, my toss is so freaking slow. I've never considered, I shouldn't say I've never considered. I've thought about changing before, but the changing of the charts lately has started to, it started to bother me. Like to the point where I was contemplating adding another monitor just so I didn't have to change specific charts. You know what I mean? Like, because once they're on there, they're fine. Like it's moving fine. It's the changing between symbols for me that's getting jacked up here. I got 14 minutes to leave. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's still a solid trade. Go work. 50, 60 points out of Nasdaq. Let's go, baby. Nasdaq's going to pull some fuckery, though, when we get up here closer to targets. I mean, somewhere in like the 1812 area, give or take. 18012s. Like I can see us kind of pulling back off that, maybe trading back towards like 980s or something, and then getting the new highs on the day. That topping tail, that spike, and all that's kind of an interesting little predicament I think we'll have to deal with. Which again, I'm cool with, because at this point, like, we can just let it chill. And I mean, I'm gonna have to leave the desk, so to some degree, there's really nothing I can do. Just let it ride and work or not. So one of the things in which I did there, I don't know if anybody caught it, but I was just kind of like talking to myself while I was going through that. I wasn't really paying attention to chat there, but I mentioned a couple times like where, hey, we're rallying up here, we're getting close to opening prints. Like if you want to go ahead and take some, go ahead and take some, do your thing, right? And then once but I didn't, right? I held onto the position, and then once we were able to push up through opening print, I went ahead and locked a protective trail under 47.50, which is just an arbitrary number. I was just looking at that prior candle bar lows there, and there's no technical level or anything like that there. Same thing with the 33.50s, but the reason I didn't take any profits on that first push, right, and the argument can be made here, right, two different sides of this is like, I got out at 47 quarters. My stops were 47.50s. I got fills at 47 quarters. So I gave up like 10 points, right, from opening print area. But my expectation was that once we did get through opening print, we would hold that and continue. And I'm willing to give it that 10 points-ish worth of room, because from opening print to highs a day is like another 90 points. So like that, giving it that 10 points worth of room, like that makes it worth it for me, right? It makes it worth it for me to go ahead and let it do its thing if I want to give it that room. And then, so I ultimately did that on 2/3 of the position. And then we came back, we got that last pullback there into 37 quarters, and then have bounced from there. And now my stops are up under the lows of that move, right? So instead of locking some in, I risked letting it come back and basically being a little bit better than break even, right, from opening print. But it allowed me to let it try and push through opening print. And if it was going to hold and move and do its thing, then I could effectively hold full for another like 90 points by only risking 10. So that was my thinking, the thought process behind like why I was doing that. And then now at this point, we're maybe going to get a new trail here at some point. There's not much in terms of change of risk reward, unfortunately, which is the only problem. We can't really move the trails here, and it wasn't close enough to targets to take some. So will we maybe give back 50 points off highs from 80s to 30s on that trail? Maybe. If so, longs are probably done on the day anyway, and we just walk away. But I'm also looking at this and going, the next logical area is like I said, those 18,340s. I don't know if we get there, but am I willing to give back 50 points to try and capture like an extra 300? Yeah. Like short answer, yes. So those are kind of just thinking through and talking through some of the things in which we were looking at. And worst case scenario, it ends up being a little over 2 hours, give or take. And if it trails, like I said, so be it. If it trails, longs are likely done on the day and under 924.50s. You could look for a sell setup for a move down into 717s. $33.50s are those stops. And this is what the market does to a lot of people too, right? And then I got to run because I got to leave at 11 and I got to put some pants on yet. Hence why the camera stops here. Just kidding. Is like market starts going in your favor, in your direction, and then people get super excited and like, hey, we got all these profits, do our thing. And then market starts pulling back. And then people start pulling their stop, right? Because they think they're right or they want to be right on this, whatever it is. And then you continue to pull your stop and pull your stop and pull your stop. And then it's, back under opening or under your trade price and all of these things. You turn a green trade into red and all of that stuff. Or you start trying to average in like, oh, it's giving me a re-entry here. It's like, maybe not. Look at that pullback so far to 34 quarters. Our stops are at 33.50s. They might still get hit here at this point. If it does get hit in the next like 3 minutes, and I'm going to close up either way just because I got to roll. And there we go. Nice. All right. Flat Nasdaq here. Nice little trade though. No complaints. We definitely did give back. He said JK. We definitely did give back about 50 points in there. I think it was worth it though. The risk reward, everything was in our favor. The Nasdaq held super well. We had a really, really solid entry right in this bar. There was about 10 points to lows on that stop. Everything, I mean, we were sized perfect on this. And it might, again, this could just be taking us out right here and then make the move. I don't know. At this point, I don't care. We locked in over 4 figures on that move either way. Decent, a little bit over 2 hours, give or take there. I sized it for about 10 points worth of stop loss. It was a little closer to 12. So give or take 15, 20% is fine with me either way on that move. And we took a good chunk of it off. Decent on that trade. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Sweet. Well, that's what I got. Nice way to end out the Friday here. Of course, that will be rather frustrating if we do just trade 29.75s and then get back up through open and, we trade all the way up into 18.050s and then maybe that room up into to 340s, give or take. But I'm kind of starting to think that this is the action for today. Nasdaq's maybe trying to say it wants to go higher, but the rest of the markets are not. They're not there yet. If I was to stick around here, it would be just to see a Russell trade that 35.40s down into 585s. The S&P's maybe into 51.09 quarters, and then from there see if Nasdaq's still holding 924s. But at the moment, I think longs are done. I think we're off the table from a long perspective here. We definitely are still holding 924.50s at the moment. So, you know, it's okay, right? That if we do continue to hold that. But I think entry is going to be difficult. Oh, sweet. I got you, Abe. There you go. So the old one, you want me to just kick the old one? Yeah, definitely a little bit of tricky price action. Here, before I go, I got 3 minutes. Drop me a W in the chat if you guys made a little bit of money on that Nasdaq trade. We waited and waited and waited, and then waited a little bit more on that trade. Ultimately ends up working out here. I mean, I don't know what more we could ask for on a day like today. Hopefully everybody stayed safe. But drop me a W in the Twitch chat if you guys were able to participate in some of that move or came out green on the day here. Hopefully so. And then I gotta run. WWW. Let's go. Wee. Sweet. Yeah, y'all have a good weekend. Appreciate you as well. And dubs all around. Let's go. It was a patience testing one. At the end of the day, though, like that trade, even though it's a little over 2 hours, I don't really care about the dollar value. I know a lot of people want to see that, but over 4 figures on that trade, a little over 2 hours. And I think the thing I want to close with on this is like, if that did make the move in which we were looking for, right, that easily turns into like a 10 to 12 R type of move that just makes the whole entire week. Like that just stacks the whole week for us. So I think it was worth it from that regard. And at the end of the day, it really only takes 1 or 2 good trades per week to hit those, 5 to 8 to 10 to 12 R type trades. And really it's it. So less is more, slow is fast, fast is slow. You guys have a great weekend. I'm out of here. Peace.